will usually take images from the construction site and put it on a repository, usually using chatbots in this case. And second stakeholder is the scheduler on the construction site. The scheduler will be handling the schedule aspect of the work. Basically, this means creates or updates the baseline schedule using information that's generated autonomously. And the third one is the management of the client. Basically, they will post the project, the report, insights, interpret, and provide the decision for what's going to happen.
Let's start with the very basic
the following days.
Modular construction. So
in the automated process, it involves putting the data that is generated from by the site crew and putting it on the proper repository, retrieving it when it's needed, and also schedule retrieving the specific days. So that when we create a weekly report, we have to look into the specific date with the set of dates within the week. So retrieving activities within that week and processing images and coming up with estimation of the work actively to the construction site. This progress is tested using a case study that is a construction site that is happen in a university campus. So the work, to just give you an overview, includes structural upgrades, system installations, and aesthetic enhancements. And the activity is tested using this specific week. In that specific week, there are several activities. The first one is ceiling panel installation and MEP work and a few more. The wiring and cable installation is already started, and seating and the floor work is already started as well. So this is what the site looks like by the time of the case study. So the data by the site, the construction site worker, is taken on the 18th. That is the data that is taken on that specific day. That's the inspection of the work by the end of the week, basically. And this is uploaded into the automated progress. And automation started. So the workflow is implemented using these three tools. The first one is a Telegram chatbot that able to work on multiple. To make it easy and accessible in the construction site, we use a simply available tool that is Telegram chatbot. Second one is an N8N automation workflow, and the third one is MS projects that we have. So this is what it looks like during the execution. So the site staff took the image and uploaded it, and this makes it stored in the repository. Then the management refreshes the report. Then the automation starts. Operation, pulling data from the repository, interpreting the information, and finally generating a report. And the report is about sent back to the management using the Telegram chatbot again, which will be accessible through HTML.
What happens?
The report includes several things, but to mention a few: the current weekly site status, summary of weekly project status, and tasks planned for next week, and just a plain image and explanation of that image itself. So all of this is autonomous, and this will help the project management definitely to provide active and balanced decision making.
And that increases the completion time.
Just to give you an overview of the estimation of the cost. So to solve these are kind of that are meant to be completed within a week, within that specific week. So this is extracted from the baseline. And the status in progress is not started in progress. These status labels are provided by the workflow automatically. So it can be easy with a quick mean from the image itself. In our results, the estimation is about duration. So there is no quantity.
The second module is about
basically actual completion according to this.
And then we try to identify what are the factors that are
the actual completion is manually computed percentage completion that is taken. Probably the most interesting thing, and maybe the justification in here, the last one, and then for sitting area, production line is supposed to be 100% estimation, but it can be automation for taken it and then 0%. Basically, this is because this estimation is done using just one image. There is no historic propagation of the work, and the concrete work requires the reverse seating and everything, which is not visible. It's already done.
And to improve and control,
so in conclusion, so what we have proposed is the AI-driven workflow. Most of the things that are available for everyone, so it's going to be easy to implement within the main point of that, and it reduces the manual effort, bias, and reliance on the specialized skills.
So this is about hyperparameter
in construction site with several weeks as well. So we say that it has a promising output and it reaches the professional report because we are not really teaching or
reducing the error rate of our prediction model.
make sure that information.
Decode
So it's going to be easier
and once into real value.
The limitations, as I mentioned earlier, there is a
parameters low and upper bound
cost metrics are not really involved in here.
and the
Most of the things
objective
are
of our
really
students optimization was
for duration based
and
there are
the
limitations
time
in
and
the
process time of the
multimodal
wall panels.
large language. The future work, we would like to add some
demonstrate the
tracking, enable real-time data capturing, and maybe the most important point, the last one, which is automated volume estimation, because we want to put some presentation information so we can actually
And then the workers will assemble the components. Then
Yeah,
they
I think that's
transfer
it. Thank you very much.
training stations where the workers will train into a where they're going
I do have a very few good minutes
And then
for
they-
question answers. Anybody?
rim track.
We publish, you can
And if
let
the
us
wall
know.
panel is interior,
Sure that
then they
we might get
transport it
something
to the site. And if the wall panel is exterior, then they put it on the sheeting workstation.
For the future
They are-
considerations, would you look at quality control as well?
And then to exterior
Because
wall
you
panel
might
and
be
put it on the
going
site.
fast, it might be on budget, but it might not be built
So,
properly.
after
Yes, I mean, actually, I was looking forward to a question that
find out the certain factors that are
into that
affecting the
future
process
consideration,
time.
because this project
For
was
example,
just
there are the factors design of
postponed
modules
when we submitted for ISARC, but after that, we
In
were
modular
building it a lot.
One of the challenges.
And we are in a stage where we actually do not only depend on images that are generated, collected from a
Another
construction
factor was
site,
about workers.
but a multimodal
One of
image
the
that
things was
multimodal information that includes voice, text, PDFs, many more. So within all this spectrum of data inputs that gets integrated together to give you a report, you can actually see quality definitely. And the progress and the volume and the competitions that are missing in here are going to be there.
Very challenging that how many workers need to be allocated at each workstation.
Any more
And
questions?
then we, can you hear us find out the different production line waste? For example, we have.
So hi,
So I just
I'm
want
sorry
to
if I
make
missed.
sure
So
that
you used
you
one
can
model
hear us here.
to
We are now playing
compute the
back your
whole thing and
presentation. At
like
the end, you will have a chance to for the Q&A.
We used an OpenAI
We try to
API
find out
Yeah.
what
to
the reason
interpret an image.
longer
Yeah.
process
That is
time
the
and trimming.
complete AI at the back of this work. But
can't hear us?
OpenAI API is repeated many times to
Mhm.
interpret images, to generate a report, to understand the.
Can you hear me?
SQL, and to extract understand basically activities from basically. All of this are done, but OpenAI API
to that,
and
we
later
have
on
to
integrated
that
with it.
Yeah, so did you kind of check like if
leads
it's not hallucinating and how accurate the model is performing and how accurate the results are?
Yes, hallucination definitely happens.
When we do
But
parameter
I mean, as we all know, this
algorithms
are growing. So here is the pipeline implementing all those commercially available. So you don't really need to create a new replacement for OpenAI because only really going fast. At some point, it's going to get there. But with that limitation, having
No, she's
Another
here.
thing
anything somehow with the report here, but here,
Try to rejoin.
the better models, it will be better.
Yeah, sounds.
Oh, Thank you.
incorporate these
While you're trying to read.
Have time for a couple of questions. If you have any?
based on that, the current sigma level that's sharing 1.41 is improved to 1.85 sigma level. So and in addition to that.
Thank you for this presentation. So basically, I just have a question. If you were willing to involve any or to get any computer vision to measure the quantity progress, or you're not going to?
I mean, as I mentioned, one of the last point of the future work is adding some sort of a beam component.
Excel file.
Mainly, this is because it's easy to have some measurable volume computations within the information. As I told you on the next version of this algorithm that is already done and on the testing stages, it uses some sort of beam model in the FC schema that has some amount of measurable volumes and computation. The problem with that is this is all planned beam. So what's happening in the actual environment is going to be different. For that, probably the solution is scan to beam and beam to scan approaches, but that's going to be somehow computation intensive and a little bit out of the.
And we.
All right, any more
sigma level
questions?
From 1.4 to 1.85 sigma.
No,
And
actually,
this
I
is
have one.
Certain.
So you have used OpenAI API, right? So I'm guessing it's zero shot learning, so no input data, right? So do you think
Then.
training these models on a set of data would increase the quality of the output?
Definitely it will, but the problem with that